Shalom, shalom. All right, hey, first and foremost, I want to give our honor, praise, and infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakbadash, the blindness of the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, blessing, and salutation to the Akim that are pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth in all truth and sincerity. All right, Lord willing, this reaches the ears of the hopeful elect. Okay. And this is just a quick little lesson through the spirit. Currently at the plantation right now, so I can't be on here for too long, but Lord willing, I make my point, get the point across, and that it's edifying, in feeding the sheep. Okay, so I'm starting the book of 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? All right. So what manner of person should you ought to be, knowing that these things about to happen, man. Okay. You got war brewing up over there in the east, okay, with Russia, Ukraine, all right, China, Taiwan, Iran, okay, all these different countries, all right. There's all this talk, about war, and not just any kind of war, but nuclear war, all right. Yahweh Shai even said it, when he was walking the earth, that these things were, to come to pass. You see? Let me get that. Okay. This is it's the book of Matthew, chapter 24. And, Salakia. Yep. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24. And I'll start at verse 4. And Yahweh Shai answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Okay, and we're hearing a lot of rumors of wars. Okay, now granted, they've already invoked, or already proclaimed, the fact that we're in World War III already, okay, but it's still on a low level, all right, because ultimately the war will, ultimately the nations, okay, will end up in the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Yahweh Shaphat, which is, Yahweh's judgment, the Lord's judgment, okay. He's going to gather them over there in the Middle East, all right, and they're not too far off from each other, okay. You got the, Britain, Poland, Germany, Russia, all those different places, they're all surrounding that region, okay. Now something is going to take place to where those kingdoms are going to come and meet up at that point, all right. And ultimately, we're waiting for the Euphrates River to dry up completely, because that's all part of the prophecy. Okay, they all coincide together. Okay, you have the MOTB, all right, the Charagma, which are already enforcing in some places in the world. All right, they're talking about it on the news. All right, they're putting it in your face, making you, familiar with it. Okay, making it look appealing. All right, that's coming. Okay, the drying up of the Euphrates River. Okay, which ultimately will bring these eastern countries down to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. All right, then World War III is going to break off, pop off. Before then, it's gonna be time of Jacob's trouble and all of that, man. And we're gonna know when we're in Jacob's trouble. It's not gonna be no secret. It's not gonna be something that you're not gonna be like, oh, I think we're in Jacob's trouble. You're not gonna think that we're in that time, man. You're gonna know, all right, because everybody's gonna be tried, all right, and you're really gonna your faith is really gonna be tested right at that point, man. You know, our faith is being tested, but once again on a low level right now. You know, and the Lord is trying our faith now. That way we don't have to experience it as bad as these 2/3, you know, come that day. All right. And it reads verse 6, and it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, seeing that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Okay? The end is not yet, man. This is just the beginning. You know? Let me keep reading. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. You know, all these things are happening right now. It says all these are the beginning of sorrows. All right, this is just the beginning of the pain and the suffering that the people and these heathens are going to have to witness and experience. Okay, look at what just happened down in Florida. All right, look at what's going on in these foreign countries where, you know, these diverse earthquakes, okay, these floods, these pestilences, these diseases, okay, wiping out, you know, tons of people, man. All right, these are all the beginning of sorrows, but it just hasn't touched Babylon yet. But soon, you know, very, very soon in the near future, it will. And it's going to hit harder, okay? It's going to hit different, and these people are going to have to suffer, man. You know? But nuclear war, nuclear missiles is in the talk, man. It's in motion. All right? Revelation 11:14, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe come quickly. All right, now if you think about it, how far back were these wars, man? They're not too far back, man. You know, World War I happened about 100 years ago. Okay, a little bit over 100 years, and it says World War I happened from 1914 to 1918, which is about 4 years, and World War II was from 1939 to 1945, which took about 6 years. Okay, now if you do the math, World War II is nothing but what, 70 years, 75 years, give or take, ago, you know. And in the eyes of the Lord's, man, that's in the Lord's eyes, like, yeah, it's late, I'm tired. But in the Lord's eyes, man, that's just a snap of a finger, man. All right, it's no time at all in the spirit world, you know. So that's why it says in Revelation 11:14 again, the second woe is past, talking about World War II. And that word woe means destruction. And it reads, it's past, and behold, the third woe come quickly. Okay? And that third woe, which is World War III, is going to be far more extreme, okay, than the first two. Now I want to get up look up the comparisons between World War I and World War II. Okay? It says casualties estimated about World War I, it was estimated about 10 million military, 7 million civilians, 20, and that's so give or take about 16 to 17 million. All right, and that's just World War I. World War II says over 60 million died. Okay, it says estimated death ranges from 50 to 80 million. 50 to 80 million. Look at the difference. All right, that's a whole, 40 plus million people who died in just those two different world wars. Okay, because you got to think about it. World War I, how was war fought? World war was fought. Let me get it, because it talks about it in the scriptures as well. Isaiah 9:5. For behold, every battle of the warrior is with confused noise. All right, it says in garments rolled in blood. Okay, so in those days, man, and it talks about this in this here article, methods of warfare. All right, World War I, it says fought from lines of trenches and supported by artillery and machine guns, infantry assault, tanks, early airplanes, and poisonous gas, mostly static in nature. Mobility was minimal. All right, so they wasn't very mobile. All right, which means everything was done on boots on ground, so to speak. All right, everything was they was in the trenches, okay, out there fighting, you know, hand-to-hand close combat. All right, that's what they were used to doing. All right, World War II now says nuclear power and missiles were used. Okay, in just, what's the time frame? In just from 1918 to 1939, it's about 21 years. So in 21 years time frame, nuclear powered missiles were created. All right, it says modern concepts of covert and special operations, submarines, tanks were also more heavily used. Encryption codes for secret communication became more complex. Germany used blitzkrieg fighting methods. All right, so look at the advancement that happened within just 20 year time frame. All right, how much do you think from 1945 till now, how much technology has increased? All right, war is fought based on the time that you're in. Okay, the concept and the methods of fighting are based off of the time. All right, so back then, 100 years ago, they didn't have these big fancy planes like they have today. Okay, even where it talks about these tanks, these encryption codes, okay, you know, spec ops, nuclear missiles, things like that in World War II. That was over 70 years ago. All right, so 20 years in between, and they was able to adapt and improve and grow on their technology. Imagine what they've come up with in just a matter of 70 years, man. You know, it's going to be far more, extreme, okay, than the first wars. All right, which goes to show that this next one is going to be the death ratio, okay, is going to be way more greater than these two combined, World War I and World War II combined. You see, even if, let's just say at most, they said 80 million, 50 to 80 million. Let's just say it was 80 million in World War II and 17 million. All right, that's 97 million people. And you got to think about, these are within all these different countries. Okay, it's going to be the death rate is going to be far more greater than that, possibly triple or quadruple the amount of 97 million. You know, could very well tap into the billions. All right, it's all a part of their depopulation agenda, you know, anyways. So it would benefit them, you know. But you know, ultimately they're you know, we talked about it in Job. Was that 20 and 23? Oh wait, let me finish this off. Isaiah 95, because I didn't finish. For every battle of warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. That's going to be the difference, man. This was going to be a burning and fuel of fire. Back in the ancient days, they didn't have fuel. You know, fuel consisted of, you know, sap from trees, you know, oil, like olive oils, all right, oils and things like that. You know, wood was even considered fuel, all right. No, but the way Isaiah was explaining it is, the Lord put the vision in his head that this is going to be actual fuel, you know, like gasoline fuel. You know, it says this shall be with burning fuel of fire. You see, you know, but what's that? Yep. Job 20 and 23, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast fury upon his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. All right. So before, you know, that, you know, they go through with their whole agenda, which is to ultimately depopulate the world, the Lord's going to shut it off, man, because they're going to a part of that whole Georgia Guidestone situation, they were trying to maintain humanity, you know, up to 500 million. Okay, there's roughly about 8 to 9 billion people on the earth. Okay, so you can only imagine the type of, you know, or the amount of death that's going to have to take place, all right, based off of, prophecy, man. And, even though it's going to start with the house of Israel, okay, starting with these 2/3, okay, a lot of them are going to get knocked off, man, by being drafted into the world war or famine, pestilence, or just simple death, man. Jake like to go out and flaunt they toolies, all right, they guns, things of that nature, and they gonna try to use it. How you gonna try to use Esau's blessing against him? It's not gonna work, man. It's not gonna work. You can't defend. You ain't gonna. Esau got ammunition out the yin yang, man. Unlimited supply. All right, Jake probably got only about 4 or 5 magazines full. You know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. But they're not gonna surpass Esau and his blessing. Okay, so a lot of them are gonna get knocked off that way too. But the Lord, the Lord is through with this place, man. Okay. Now I want to it was a diagram of the different nuclear bombs that had taken place in history. All right. And there's the little boy and the fat man were the ones that was used on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Okay. The little boy was only 15 kilotons, whereas the fat man was 21 kilotons. Okay. And with those bombs killed about just shy of 200,000 people, But there is what's called a Tsar Bomb, okay, TSAR bomb, and that one is 50,000 kilotons. So you compare it to 15 and 21 to 50,000 kilotons. And it says tested by the Soviet Union back in 1961. That was in 1961. They got things far more advanced than that now. There's one that shows here, it says the antimatter bomb, which is 250 megatons. Okay, so the Tsar bomb was 50. The antimatter bomb is 215 megatons. All right, so it's gonna be crazy, man. The amount of destruction. That's why this place is gonna end up like a complete desolate wasteland. All right. It's not nothing here is going to be able to survive that blast. You're going to be able to see from here, from California to New York, and with just your visuals, man. Now, granted, it's just a figure of speech because ain't nobody going to be here, okay? But I'm just putting it into perspective. That's how far. You're going to be able to see. It's just going to be everything is going to be flat. Not a tree in sight, not a mountain, not a hill. Okay, not a building, not a car, not a person. Everything is going to be destroyed. The elements are going to be burnt up, man. Okay, and what's going to be used as fuel are these people, man. These heathens and these 2/3. Let me get that. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 22 and verse 20. As they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace to blow the fire upon it, to melt it, so will I gather you in mine anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you. You see the power? Look at this flesh, this bone and skin is literally going to be dripping. Lord willing, we don't be partakers of that wrath. But just to put it in perspective, man, your skin is literally going to be dripping off of your bones, man. And your bones are just going to be burnt into a cloud of dust, from the heat. It says, verse 21, yea, I will gather you and blow upon you in the fire of my wrath, and ye shall be melted in the midst thereof. As silver is melted in the midst of the furnace, so shall ye be melted in the midst thereof. And ye shall know that I, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, have poured out my fury upon you. You see? You will then know that this is the Lord's doing. The Spirit of the Lord is going to be within these missiles, man. You know? They're not going to break their ranks, okay? And the Lord, he's overkill, man. He's overkill. He's gonna do far more than what's expected. You know, all these you know these other nations are gonna turn their back on the harlot, man, which is Babylon, and they all gonna be sending off those missiles, man, those nuclear ICBM missiles over here. You know, thus saith the Lord, thus saith Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, because it's all written here in the scriptures. It's written in the prophecy, and prophecy is real. It's not no fairy tale, man. Prophecy is not something that you just, you know, is not a Harry Potter book, man. All right, it's not a Lord of the Rings prophecy. Okay, this is just things that, and the prophets are the ones who you know, we're bringing it out because we foresee it. You know, we're calling it, we're speaking it before it happens. That's what a prophet is. And you speak the things that are written in the book, okay, that are going to end up coming to pass. That's prophecy. You know, that's the testimony of our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai, is a spirit of prophecy. All right, speaking these things into existence before they even actually happen. And that's power in itself, man. That the power of the tongue is able to do this. You know, Jeremiah 50:20. You know, it says, I will use you. You know, let me get it real quick. Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse Jeremiah 51:20. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. And how are these kingdoms being destroyed? Okay, because the men of the Lord are out there on the highways and hedges proclaiming and professing the downfall of this kingdom. And we're literally speaking these things into existence. Okay, this is the Lord putting his spirit within his men to bring this place to its knees, man. You know, what was I gonna get? I was gonna get oh man, Lord willing, I'm gonna get Joel chapter 2. All right, Joel chapter 2 and verse 5. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, with the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their faces the people shall be much pain, all their faces shall gather blackness. It says, they shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war, they shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. And what are they talking about? They're talking about these missiles, man. Every missile has a target, okay? And through the spirit, each missile that's launched has a specific target, man. And each one they're not gonna break their ranks. They're not gonna bump into each other and blow up in the air. No, they're all gonna be shot organically and hitting, you know, exactly where the Lord intended it to hit. All right. It says, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his paths, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Yep. Let me get Isaiah chapter 60, 66 and 15. For behold, the Lord Yahweh Shai will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. You see that? Man, hey, it's gonna be brutal, man. You know, that's why we're doing everything that we can to give diligence, man, making our calling and election sure. That way we don't have to experience and have to go through that pain and suffering. You know, the flesh is literally going to be melting off of these people's bones, man. You know, let me get another precept in the book of Zechariah chapter 12. Salakia. I think it's I know it's in Zechariah 14 and 12. And it says, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. You see, the Lord is going to have it to where the flesh is going to literally be melting off of their bodies as they're standing upon their feet, man. The eyes of these people are going to be burnt out of their eye sockets, man. You see the tongue, all right, it's going to disintegrate because of this. They're going to be opening their mouths and screaming, and all of it is just going to be burnt up, man. You know. And then soon thereafter, man, you just what's that movie, Terminator? You know, it's a perfect depiction of what's going to happen to these people, man. You know, but we pray and we ask the Lord to be delivered from that. You know, it's going to be a gruesome death, man, for these people. You know, because hey, we're trying to get on that first ride out of here by way of these chariots, man. That's why the Lord said he was going to come and deliver. You know, really, he's coming to deliver the nation of Israel, but it's really for the elect, okay? Because everybody else is going to have to come through the loins of the elect, man. You know, but yeah, that was pretty much it. Lord willing, this was edifying. You know, I just wanted to touch base on some of these, you know, these bombs, you know, the depictions. Okay. You know, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and that's a Tsar Bomb. But as you can see over here, this one, that big one over there, that's that antimatter bomb, which is far more greater and bigger than the Tsar Bomb itself. You know, I was just looking through the spirit. I just wanted to talk about, you know, these wars, man. What is going to come? What's the turnout going to be? Through the spirit, we already know what the turnout is going to be, but you know, just wanted to you know, shine some light on that. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. And in closing, I want to give honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Until next time, Shalom.